Welcome to Southwest Florida Real Estate Update, hosted by area realtor Jim York and York Real Estate Group of Downing Fry Realty. Our show will bring you the most up-to-date information about the local real estate market, featuring leading experts in the real estate field.
Hi, I'm Michael York with the York Real Estate Group in Naples, Florida, and welcome to the Southwest Florida Real Estate Update. Today with our host Jim York and his guest Kevin Klimek, Senior Vice President at Centennial Bank.
Thank you, Michael, for the introduction. Kevin, thanks for coming on the show again.
Thanks for having me.
And let's just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Kevin Klimek, and I'm with Centennial Bank, located here in Naples. Centennial Bank is a subsidiary of Home Bank Shares based out of Conway, Arkansas. But we've got over 60 branches throughout Florida, and we have 2 branches here in Southwest Florida, one in Naples and one on Marco Island. Our presence here in Naples is relatively new. Our branch in Naples just opened up over the summer. Centennial Bank has about $7.5 billion in assets and a 5-star rating from Bauer Financial, and is really committed to growing the Naples market and building programs not just on the mortgage side, but for all the banking needs to tailor to the Naples clientele and what we're looking for here in town. It's a great company with great management, and really just a dedication to really understanding the Florida market, knowing our borrowers, knowing our customers, and servicing the area the way that we need to be serviced. We operate very much just like any other community bank. We have local presidents, local boards of directors, but we also have the horsepower of a large regional type of bank behind us. So we're able to offer some programs and terms that are really competitive that many of our other competing banks are not allowed to offer.
And where's the bank located?
The main branch is on the corner of Anchor Road Drive and US 41, about a mile north of the mall.
In your role with the bank, maybe?
My title is Senior Vice President of the Mortgage Division here in the Naples, Florida area. So my role with the bank is really to work with clients looking to purchase, refinance, or build primary, secondary homes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, a couple of the topics we're going to talk about tonight, but first one I'd like to talk about is loans that you're offering to local physicians in the area. So maybe you could just tell us about that, because that's a special program I don't think most banks offer.
No, thanks for bringing that up. That's a great niche product that we offer. We recognize and realize the importance of doctors and people in the medical profession throughout this community. And as this community grows, so does the number of hospitals, doctor offices, and the needs to attract newer, younger doctors coming sometimes out of residency and coming to relocate to the Naples, Florida area. We have a program that offers 100% financing to doctors with no mortgage insurance, and we can lend them up to $1 million. They have to qualify based on their income and salary and all of that, but the ability to offer physicians with certain designations 100% financing to help attract them to the Naples area is a niche that we're proud to offer, and something that's been very successful for the bank. With that, comes the overall relationship of Centennial Bank and the Naples community, and our understanding and knowledge that the medical profession is one of the biggest sources of revenue and service here in Southwest Florida.
Mm-hmm. So when a doctor moves into town, they could contact you and get a pre-approval based on what type of work they're going to do here?
Absolutely. The approval process is relatively simple. Mm-hmm. It's a portfolio loan. And
right.
That designation is important because we keep the loan on our bank books,
right.
On our balance sheet. So we don't sell the loan off to someone else, and we don't have to follow anyone else's rules. We've created this product to service our clientele. So our goal is to make sure that this process is relatively easy and is a positive, happy process when someone's coming to
right.
Naples, relocating their family and looking to buy a home. Again, we can lend up to 100%. We typically just need tax returns, pay stubs, verify what their employment is, and pull their credit, verify their assets, and off we go.
And do you offer any other loans for any other people in the medical profession besides the physicians?
We'll loan to everyone, but
Right.
the 100% program
Is just for the
is
physician.
just for physicians. With the designations are an MD, Doctor of Pediatric Medicine, Doctor of Dental Surgery, and Doctor of Dental Medicine. So
Okay.
DDMs. So it covers a lot of the physicians out there. Obviously, if you don't have one of those designations, we still have all the other programs available where we
Right.
can lend up to 95%, and we have all the portfolio programs available as well.
Well, let's go into the next question I have is explain to our viewers what a portfolio loan is, because I know you do a lot of it, and it is, I think, a little bit easier process than going through a government-backed loan, right?
Right, exactly. In the mortgage industry, Jim, in many cases, when you go to a mortgage broker, mortgage originator, or a bank, and you apply for a mortgage, many of those mortgages are packaged and sold in the secondary market to larger companies that package them as securities, and they sell them on Wall Street. With those loans, they have very, very stringent guidelines and qualifications that you must meet. Also, just from a paperwork standpoint, the checks and balances involved in these in any mortgage that's sold in the secondary market tends to be a lot more detail-oriented, and the portfolio loans are loans that we keep. They're loans that are decisioned by our bank, where we review the merits of the borrower and make sure that we have a qualified borrower and someone that meets our guidelines. And we service that loan. The intent is not for us to sell it. So after closing, they can come and they'll be making their mortgage payments to Centennial Bank. From the underwriting standpoint, if someone doesn't fit that perfect box set by the secondary market, the portfolio allows us to look at that borrower on their own merits. And just because they have an income situation that might be a little bit different than the norm, or they're looking to borrow a little more money on an advance rate, and it certainly becomes a benefit in the jumbo and the super jumbo range, where those files fall under a lot more scrutiny in the secondary market. They have lower advance rates in the secondary market, and they have lower maximum loan amounts. Your typical secondary market investor jumbo loan will cap out at $2 or $2.5 million with an advance rate of maybe 60 or 65%. In the Naples area, we know this market, we feel comfortable with it. So if we have the right borrower, we can lend 70, 75, sometimes 80% up to loan amounts in that range. We can look at loans up to $6 or $7 million for a client, and structure it to their needs. It's not just one loan for one borrower and you either fit the box or you don't.
Right.
We really try to work with the client and make sure that they're getting a good experience, and they're getting a fair rate, a competitive rate, and terms that are very straightforward. We don't put prepayment penalties in our loans. We don't put a lot of those crazy things you've heard about over the years of the mortgage industry. We don't have negative amortization. We don't play any of those games. It's really good, old school, old-fashioned community banking. You come in, we shake your hand, we put the loan together, we try to come to terms that are agreeable for all involved, and we go from there.
And your underwriting is done here in Naples or outside of Naples?
A little bit of both, depending on the loan size and depending on the program. We have our local loan committees that meet weekly, and in some cases, though, our parent company based out of, or our home company based out of Conway, Arkansas, some of the underwriting and decisions are made through that area jointly with our local loan committee.
Okay, and on portfolio loans, typically they're like 5 or 7 years, but amortized over 30 or
Correct.
15
The
years?
initial fixed rate would be fixed typically 3, 5, or 7 years
Right.
with a 30-year amortization. And that's really the only difference is
Right.
because it's a portfolio loan and it's kept on our books, there's a lot of interest rate risk
That's right.
for both the bank and the client. And it's important to be upfront about that and not sugarcoat it.
Right.
It would be irresponsible from a banking standpoint to book a lot of loans fixed for 30 years, where if 5, 7, 10 years from now rates are higher and the bank has a portfolio of loans at sub-market rates, there's no way that bank can stay in business. So like any other business out there, whether it's banking or selling, making widgets, you're trying to tailor the loan based on an acceptable amount of risk for you and the borrower, and to make sure that you're competitive and putting out a product that people want, need, can use, and is beneficial to everyone.
Okay, well, Kevin, we're going to take a little short break here, and we're going to be right back. Thank you.
When picking a realtor, don't just pick anyone. Pick someone with experience. Pick someone with a proven track record. Pick a realtor like Jim York from Downing Fry Realty, the #1 brokerage with the most real estate transactions in the area.
My husband and I had very specific ideas about what we wanted in our new home. Jim York was able to help us find the home that was ideal for us.
With over 20 years of real estate experience in Southwest Florida, Jim York has negotiated over $200 million in sales contracts. Selecting the right realtor is a critical decision that can earn you thousands when selling or save you thousands when buying.
Jim also helped us with a mortgage lender and a good real estate attorney. He went that extra mile, and his experience says it all.
Call Jim York for a no-obligation meeting at 239-273-6727 or visit his website, www.naplesyorkrealestate.com.
Welcome back. Kevin, let's go into foreign nationals. What kind of programs do you offer for those people?
We've got a great program for our foreign borrowers. That's turned out to be a real big attraction here in Naples. You go walk down Fifth Avenue or you go to the Mercado, you just hear and see so many people from other countries, many Europeans coming to visit Naples, Florida. It's a great place to come and vacation. And as foreigners come to this great community, they wind up looking at homes, and they realize that this is a great place to vacation. So the second home market for foreign borrowers has become a great source of real estate sales in this community. So Centennial Bank, we have an outstanding foreign national program tailored for borrowers from other countries looking to purchase a vacation home here in Southwest Florida or anywhere in Florida. Again, the process on this, these are loans that we keep on our books. So we've created the program and have made it to where the rates are competitive and the overall structure is very straightforward. The general parameters of the loan are, we will need to verify, who they are, get their passports, make sure that we know who we're dealing with. We verify their employment, and we request a 30% down payment. And based on the loan amount, things of that nature, there's some things that can affect the overall advanced rate. But for the most part, we recognize the need to be competitive and to be a leader in this part of the real estate market in Southwest Florida, because it's great for our local economy and tourism, which feeds brings so many jobs to Southwest Florida. So it's nice to be able to offer a tool that helps satisfy that need and help satisfy the ability to attract our foreign friends to come live and play and enjoy Naples, Florida.
There's no difference between buying a single family or a condo on the 30% down?
No.
There's no difference there?
Not at all. Sometimes with condominiums, there are some designations certain condominium projects have that may warrant an additional 5% down payment or something like that, but for the most part, no. We look at them the same.
And then how about their verification of income? You do verify that.
We do verify their income.
So,
but
I know you've done some for me, so there's like a universal tax thing or a pay.
No, there isn't. That's the tough thing. And that's why so many banks don't offer foreign national loans, because tax laws in England don't match tax laws in Germany or Italy. And even if they did, if someone brought me foreign tax returns,
you would not.
For the most part, none of us know how to read them because we don't know the tax law. So we really do our best due diligence to understand what they do. If they're a salaried borrower, it's pretty simple. Just like America, we'll get their pay stubs and understand what their monthly income is from there. If they're self-employed, we ask for some type of analysis or historical income from their the equivalent of a CPA or a tax accountant from their country. And we just verify that, the people verifying the income are a bona fide company that we can find, and it's not Uncle Larry just putting a note together.
Right.
But again, we try to make the process to where we understand who we're lending to, and to make sure that they can afford it. We do not want to put someone into a home that they struggle with.
Right.
That we're not doing anybody any favors on that. That's not good for our community. It's not good for the borrower or the bank. So we try to keep it, again, simple but fluid. There are no two borrowers the same,
Right.
and depending on their business and how they earn their living is looked at on a case-by-case basis. A lot of times you can look at that based on their overall asset and liquidity position. Some foreign borrowers that are very, very successful will have a portfolio that's in line with that. If someone comes in and they try to say that they make $1 million a year but have $2 in the bank, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So again, the portfolio side comes down to some common sense general underwriting, where our standards are such that we want to hold everyone to the same standard. We want to make sure we're making sound credit decisions. We want to make sure the client is getting into the home that they want at a price that they really can't afford, and into a loan that they really understand, soup to nuts, what they've gotten into, to have that relationship.
And explain to our viewers, I think they have to have a registered agent here in the United States too?
Yes, the registered agent it's really a very simple form. In the United States, in the event of default on a mortgage, there are certain steps the bank must go through. And one of those is notifying and contacting the clients. That can pose a challenge to any bank trying to serve legal paperwork to a citizen in another country. It can also become very expensive. So we do ask that any foreign borrower designate a U.S. agent. And that person is just simply, it must be a resident of Florida. Right. They have no obligation for the loan, the repayment, or any of the credit terms.
Right.
It's just pretty much an assignment from the borrower stating that, if in the event of default, you may serve paperwork to this Florida citizen, and have do your best interest and best efforts to serve them properly as well where they live, but to allow the bank to not be stuck with real estate that they can't follow the law. What we want to do is everything we can to offer the products to our borrowers and help people get into homes, but also stay within the legal compliance and make sure that everything that we do is on the up and up, and to where everything works out.
How about, let's move on a little bit here. How about, there's a lot of new construction in Collier County here.
Lots of it.
Lots of it, wherever you go. So I'm sure you're offering new construction loans?
Absolutely. On all of our programs, certainly all of our portfolio programs, we'll do a one-time close construction permanent loan. We also offer that on that doctor program, so we can lend 100% financing to a doctor that's looking to build a home here. The process, again, is really no different. The qualification process is no different than any other loan that we go through. The construction loans, we close up front one time, and during construction, the construction loan advances throughout.
Right.
And during that time, the borrower makes interest-only payments to the bank based on whatever's funded. Once the house is complete, the loan then just automatically converts to principal and interest over the remaining term of the loan. It's a great product. We use local appraisers to value the homes,
which is important.
It's very important.
Very important.
We love our local builders, and it's important that as we're helping the construction process along, the builders understand that when it's time to get their next draw check, and as the construction progresses, that they can get a check from the bank and get the inspections done in a timely manner. So typically, a draw process can usually take no longer than 3 business days if the builder brings us everything they need.
Right.
The builder is a key component, not just residential, but even on the commercial side.
And how far do you go up in those loan values?
Sky's the limit, really.
Okay.
You know,
So there's no
we
limit.
can look at
Right.
we can look at $7, $8, $10 million loans if we had the right borrower and the right project. When you get into loans of that size, those are again,
Right.
there's not a specific parameter. That's really based on a case-by-case basis.
Right.
But we love to do them.
And where do you see interest rates headed?
I think that the normal safe answer is up because
Right.
they've been low so long.
For so long.
I don't think it's a question of what they're going to do, but when and by how much and how quickly. I'm not an economist, and when you read the news and the financial papers, there's different stories out there
Every day.
time, every
Right.
day.
Yep.
The last I heard was they expect maybe prime to increase 0.25% in October.
That's
Whether that
right.
happens or not, who knows? I think they will go up eventually. I think they'll still stay relatively flat overall with maybe a slight increase over the next year and a half.
Right.
But I think you're probably looking at 18 months before you see, my guess is, any drastic movement in the interest rate environment.
Probably be after the 2016 elections.
I would
probably.
think so. I think that's probably a safe.
Well, Kevin, we're going to take another little short break, and we're going to be right back. Thank you.
Selecting the right realtor is a critical decision that can earn you thousands when selling.
Jim sold our villa in just 2 days. We got the highest price in the community. He then helped us to negotiate and purchase our new home here in Tiburon. I'd recommend Jim. His expertise made all the difference.
Call Jim York for a no-obligation meeting at 239-273-6727 or visit his website, www.naplesyorkrealestate.com.
Welcome back. Kevin, we're going to go to Michael for a question, okay?
Sure.
Yes, Kevin, maybe you could give us a little background on the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval for some of our customers out there that might be looking for a mortgage.
Michael, great question. I think that's a great topic because I think it's misunderstood throughout the industry. The difference is really quite simple. A pre-qualification is a very, very informal process that a mortgage lender will walk a customer through. Generally speaking, a pre-qualification, during that process, the lender will sit there with a prospective borrower and ask them questions about their income, ask them questions about their assets, and talk to them about their overall credit history. Mm-hmm. And they give them a general understanding of what they think they might qualify for. In many cases, they can just give you a letter stating that you're pre-qualified for X amount of dollars. But the pre-qualification process does not take into account the actual review of their income, their tax returns, their actual credit report in many cases. And so the pre-qualification process does not hold a lot of water when you give that letter to someone. Mm-hmm. The actual pre-approval process is the full-blown approval process without having a piece of property identified. The pre-approval letter has a lot more value to both the borrower, the realtor, the buyer, and everyone involved in the transaction, because the bank at that point has stated that they've reviewed the borrower's income, they've reviewed their credit, their assets, and they qualify and are approved for a loan up to X amount of dollars based on a purchase price of Y.
Right.
And the approval typically is only subject to verification of a sales contract, the appraisal, satisfactory home unit, things of that nature.
Right.
So the pre-approval letter is really what borrowers need to be looking for when they go about looking for homes and trying to figure out what they qualify for and what they're looking to purchase. The pre-qualification letters tend to, because they are not quite as detail specific, right, and they don't have the underwriting background, mm-hmm, tend to cause some issues sometimes, or put people in situations where they think they can get something and then wind up finding out that they can't for whatever reason. And we don't,
right,
we don't like to see that.
No, we don't.
We want everything up front. So when a customer comes into a transaction, they're working with you, Jim, or any of other fine realtors in Southwest Florida, that they know that they've got a borrower that's qualified, and they just have to find the home that they want, and the bank will be there ready to finance the loan within a very short period of time after going under contract.
Well, Kevin, I'd like to thank you for coming today. I know you've handled a lot of my clients and done a wonderful job, and everyone's been happy, and And again, I'd like to thank you for coming and
Appreciate
viewing
it.
your experience with our audience, okay?
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.